Good evening. If you are exhausted tonight, truly tired down to your bones, then you have come to the right place and you can let yourself stop now. There is nothing more being asked of you. The day is done and you do not have to carry it any further. Let the lamps grow dim. Let the phone be set down somewhere out of reach. There is nothing left to fix, nothing left to decide, nothing left to solve before morning. For this little while, your only task is to rest your tired body, soften your breath and listen. Let your eyes close. Let your shoulders sink down heavy and warm into whatever is holding you. Breathe in slowly, gently, and let the breath flow back out even more slowly, and feel with each one a little more of the day's weight slip away from you. When we are this tired, the worries of the day can feel like something closing in around us, like heat we cannot escape. So tonight I want to tell you a story about exactly that, about a danger that surrounded some sleeping children and the quiet smiling friend who simply breathed it all away. Listen and let it ease you down into sleep. You are safe here. Let me show you why. But first, take one more slow breath down into your belly and let it go with a long, soft sigh. Let your shoulders drop a little further. Let your eyes rest gently closed. You don't have to stay alert for this story. You don't have to remember it. You can let the words drift over you like a cool breeze on a warm evening, and if sleep comes and takes you before the end, then good. That is exactly what is meant to happen. Just let yourself begin to grow heavy and warm and still. It was a long, bright day in the land of Vrindavan, and Krishna, still only a boy, had gone out with the other cowherd boys to graze the cattle far from the village. They drove the herd along the banks of the river Yamuna, out past the near meadows, deep into the wide green forest where the grass grew sweet and the trees stood tall. The cows wandered and grazed, drifting further and further as they fed, and the boys followed, playing and laughing in the warm light. It was the kind of day that seems to have no end, the kind of endless golden day that belongs only to childhood. The sunlight came down in shafts through the high green leaves. The river sparkled beside them. The boys called to one another and chased through the trees, and the cattle wandered on ahead, deeper and deeper into the cool shade of the forest, until the village was far behind and forgotten, and there was only the wide green world in the slow afternoon in the company of friends. Feel the warmth of that day, the safety of it, the easy joy of children with nowhere to be and nothing to do but play. Let some of that ease settle into your own tired body now. It was a wonderful day, the kind that tires you out in the happiest way. The boys ran and wrestled and chased one another through the trees. They played their games until their legs were heavy and their laughter grew soft. And at last, in the warm shade beneath the great trees, one by one, they lay down in the cool grass to rest. The day had been so long and they were so tired that sleep came over them quickly and completely. Scattered here and there across the forest floor, the boys fell fast asleep, their chests rising and falling slowly, the dappled light moving gently over their peaceful faces. Feel that drowsiness as your own now. Feel how good it is to lie down after a long day, to let the warm shade hold you, to let sleep come. Let your own breathing grow as slow and easy as theirs. But while the boys slept, something began far off among the dry trees. The forest in that season was parched, the grass brittle, the fallen leaves like tinder. And somewhere, perhaps from a spark, Perhaps from the dry heat of the day, a fire kindled. At first it was small, a flicker, a curl of smoke. But the dry forest was hungry for it, and the fire spread quickly, faster and faster, leaping from grass to bush to tree, until it grew into a great wall of flame moving through the woods. And the wind turned the fire toward the place where the boys lay sleeping. It came from one side, and then, as if it meant to trap them, it came from the others too, circling around, until a ring of flame had closed about the sleeping boys and the frightened cattle on every side. The heat woke them. The boys opened their eyes to a terrible sight. Fire all around, roaring and bright, the air thick with smoke, the cows lowing in fear and crowding together, and no path out, no gap, no way through. Wherever they looked, there was only flame. Now you might feel your own heart tighten a little at such a picture. But stay easy. Stay soft. Because here is where the story turns and turns gently. The frightened boys did the only thing they knew to do. They cried out to Krishna, their dearest friend, the one who was always among them, the one they loved and trusted above all. They called his name through the smoke and the roar with all their hearts, because he was their only hope. And Krishna was not afraid, not even a little. While the others trembled and cried, he stood there in the midst of the closing fire, calm and unhurried, with that same gentle, knowing smile he always wore. The flames lit his face, but there was no fear in it at all, only a deep and steady peace, as though the great roaring fire were no more troubling to him than a candle flame. He looked at his frightened friends, at their wide eyes and their tears, and his heart was full of love for them. And he spoke to them softly, easily, as though there were nothing wrong at all. "Do not be afraid," he told them. "Simply close your eyes. Close your eyes and do not be afraid." Imagine the trust it took, and imagine how it must have soothed them, that calm voice in the middle of the fire, telling them only to close their eyes. It went against everything their fear was screaming at them. Every instinct said to run, to look for a gap, to fight, to panic. And instead he asked them only to stop and close their eyes and be still and trust. What a strange and tender instruction in the middle of such danger. And yet somehow it was the only thing that could save them. And because they loved him, and because something in his calm was stronger than their fear, they did. One by one they let their eyes fall closed. The roar of the fire was all around them, the heat pressing close, and yet they closed their eyes and trusted, and waited in the dark behind their own eyelids. They stopped trying to save themselves. They stopped looking at the flames. They simply trusted the one who loved them, and grew still and waited. Feel how that must have felt. The choice to stop struggling, to close your eyes in the very middle of the danger, and to hand it all over to someone stronger. There is a deep rest in that, even now, even in you. And while their eyes were closed, Krishna drew in a single great breath, a long, deep, gathering breath, and he drew the entire forest fire into himself. The whole ring of flame, the heat, the smoke, the roaring danger, all of it, drawn in and swallowed in one quiet breath, the way you might draw in a sigh. Gone. Simply gone. When the boys opened their eyes again, the fire had vanished completely. There was no flame, no smoke, no ring of heat. The air was cool and clear and sweet. The trees stood green and untouched around them. The cattle were calm. and the boys found themselves standing safe and whole on the soft bank of the river Yamuna once more, the gentle water flowing past, the evening quiet settling over the trees. Not one of them was harmed. Not a single hair was singed. The danger had simply been breathed away while their eyes were closed, and they had been kept perfectly safe without even seeing how. For a long moment, the boys simply stood there, blinking, scarcely able to believe it. A heartbeat ago there had been fire on every side, the terrible heat, the roaring, the certainty that there was no way out. And now, only the cool green forest, the soft grass, the slow bright river, the birds beginning to sing again in the branches. It was as though the fire had never been at all. And there among them stood Krishna, smiling his quiet smile, as calm as ever, as though he had done nothing more than wave away a bit of smoke. The boys looked at him with wide and grateful eyes, and a great wave of relief and safety washed over them, sweeter for all the fear that had come before. They were safe. They had been safe the whole time. They had only had to close their eyes and trust. Let that wash over you now, cool and clear as that river, as your body sinks deeper into rest. The fire that surrounded them on every side gone in a single breath. The danger that felt unescapable simply taken away while they trusted in the dark. Hear this gently as you drift. When you are exhausted, the worries that surround you can feel exactly like that ring of fire, closing in from every side, hot and loud and impossible to escape. The unpaid thing, the unfinished thing, the fear about tomorrow. They press in, and they seem to leave no way out. But you do not have to fight your way through them tonight. You do not have to stay awake keeping watch over the flames. You can do the one thing the cowherd boys did. You can close your eyes and not be afraid and trust. Because you are protected, even as you sleep, the worries that surround you have less power than they pretend to. They can be breathed away quietly while your eyes are closed. You do not have to be the one holding back the fire all night. You can let your eyes stay shut. You can let yourself be kept safe in the dark, the way those boys were kept safe, without lifting a finger, without even seeing how. How many nights have you lain awake, staring into the dark, trying to hold back the flames by sheer worry, as though if you only stayed alert enough, anxious enough, you could keep the danger from coming? But it never worked that way, did it? The worrying never put out a single fire. It only kept you from your rest. The cowherd boys did not save themselves by staring at the flames. They were saved when they closed their eyes. And so it is for you. The thing that surrounds you tonight is smaller than it looks, and it does not need your watching. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to close your eyes. You are allowed to be carried through the night without keeping guard. So close your eyes now and keep them closed. Let the heat of the day's worries fade. Feel the air around you grow cool and clear and sweet, like the air by the river after the fire was gone. There is no danger here. There is only the soft river bank, the quiet evening, and you safe and whole and watched over. Feel how heavy your tired body has become, how it sinks down into rest now that there is nothing to guard against. Your breathing is slow, deep, and easy. The fear has lifted. The fire is gone. The one who loves you has drawn it all away, and you are standing safe by the gentle river, ready to lie down and sleep. Picture the boys now, safe by the river in the cool of the evening, the danger all behind them. They lie back down in the soft grass, tired and happy, the fear melted clean away, and the gentle dusk settles over them. The river murmurs. The cattle rest, and Krishna sits among his friends, watching over them, smiling softly, while one by one they drift off to sleep, certain at last that they are safe. Let yourself be one of them, lying in that cool grass by the quiet river, watched over while you sleep. Let your thoughts grow dim and distant, like smoke drifting off and disappearing into the evening sky. There is nothing left to fear. There is nothing left to do. Only to close your eyes and trust and sink down into deep and peaceful sleep. Feel the cool air around you, the soft grass beneath you, the slow river running quietly by. Feel how heavy and warm your tired body has grown, how willingly it sinks now into rest. The fire is gone. The fear is gone. You are watched over, exactly as those sleeping boys were watched over, kept safe through every hour of the night without having to do a single thing. You are protected. You are safe. Let go and rest. Rest now. Breathe slow. Good night.